In today's episode, Dave asks, how do you interpret the why? If you see data that says actions were taken or not, how do you determine why those actions were taken so you can replicate or avoid those specific marketing tactics moving forward? Good question. The answer is from the existing marketing data you have in your analytics tool. The answer is you probably can't. And the reason why is that analytics tools like Google Analytics, for example, are really only collecting the what happened, not the why. And for the most part, you can't extract a whole lot of meaning from that, with one or two exceptions, which we'll talk about. In order to extract the why, you have to get inside the customer's head, and that means asking them questions and looking through and researching the answers. So let's go through a few different methods of doing this, what's called qualitative data analysis. The first and easiest to implement is on all of your intake points. Are you asking customers how they heard about you? Is there a box where someone can type in, like, I watched a webinar with you, for example? If you're not doing intake assessments, intake data collection, you're missing an easy opportunity to get some of that data and to understand, okay, this is useful stuff. Be very careful about drop-downs. I don't like drop-downs because what tends to happen is that people choose the easiest thing and not necessarily the thing that is most prominent in their memory. So that unaided recall, how did I hear about this company? I find to be very, very useful. The second is to mine the data you are already collecting. You are collecting, I would assume, customer service data, call center data, CRM data, and so on and so forth. You're getting a lot of text input from customers. Your customer service inbox, maybe even key executives have data that they're collecting. They get emails from industry peers and so on and so forth. And so there may be options there. You want to gather all this data, pool it together, and then use text mining tools, machine learning tools, to extract out, hey, these are the common words and phrases over time that keep appearing or disappearing, and being able to quantify that and then match that against your marketing calendar, your editorial calendar. Hey, we published a great number of pieces about the new bean of coffee that we've released, and sure enough, 2 months later, customers were emailing us about our new coffee bean. So that would be an example of using some of that existing data. The one thing I'd be very careful of there is that if you're going to use social media data, be very cautious with it because it is extremely messy. There are significant problems with bots and automation, meaning that you may not be analyzing data coming from real people. And social media, the networks themselves are biased. Each network has its own bias for things like age and gender and demographic. But then also there's behavioral biases too. Generally speaking, people don't participate on social media about stuff about a brand unless either it was a really powerful activation, or they're really happy, or they're really unhappy. And if you're trying to do something, for example, like RFM analysis, where you're trying to take okay customers and turn them into great customers, get them to buy more, you're going to have a big gap in your data because the satisfied but not thrilled customers aren't going to bother posting. They're simply not interested, and so it'd be very difficult to identify those people. So that's mining the data you have. The next thing, of course, is getting more data, getting more qualitative data, and this comes from things like focus groups, for example. Are you running focus groups that are sitting people down and having them chat for a couple hours about, hey, this is what they are looking for in the next brew of coffee? Are you doing stuff like that where you can get information from them that is qualitative in nature that you can then say, okay, this is what our customers really care about, so let's make sure that we do less of this and more of that. Customer advisory boards, I think, are probably one of the most underrated tactics for getting qualitative data about your brand and your marketing. When you have customers who are already paying you money, you can ask them questions about your marketing and say, hey, did this resonate with you? We ran this campaign. Did you even see the campaign? How would you have done it differently if we wanted to reach more people like you, because you're our best customers? How would we reach more people like you? So customer advisory boards, I think, are incredibly powerful. And then, of course, if you want to kick it up a notch, doing formal market research with a credible market research firm is certainly a way to go. If you're going to spend $10 million on your next massive media buy, Shouldn't you spend 100 grand on making sure that the message and the concept and everything are correct? The firm I recommend there, if you're going to do something like that, would be a company like Edison Research, Tom Webster's shop. They are top shelf and get you credible, correct data. So you have when it comes to the qualitative data, it really is asking people. It is getting insights from the data you already have and then collecting new data on top of that. That's how you get those qualitative data insights. And then what you have to do is then start to quantify them. So if you have a focus group or you have some mined data, qualitative data is not quantitative data, which means that you can't just slap say 5 out of the 7 customers we asked in our focus group want this. But there may still be biases, so you still want to run a larger scale quantitative survey, emails to your customers, or surveys through survey panels or market research firms to validate your qualitative findings. It's an ongoing process in order to make sure that you're doing and you're getting the right data from your customers and from your audience that will lead you to get correct answers. So, good question. It's a complicated question. It's probably a lot more complicated than you were hoping for. The one area where you can get good insights about what's working from your quantitative data is around attribution analysis, if you have the data and you have the software to pull it together. If you have the data, means that you are a primarily online business. Like if you're going to analyze data with Google Analytics and you're a primarily online business, and then there's very little interference from outside sources that are not online, then you can use attribution analysis, either built in or run more sophisticated attribution analysis to figure out what's working. If you have all the significant components of offline, you have to gather all of the data from all the offline sources, put it in a massive spreadsheet along with all of your online data, and then run, again, very sophisticated machine learning algorithms, one in particular called gradient boosting, that will help you understand what combination of activities and variables and things leads to the outcome you want. It is doable. It is possible, but it requires a lot of heavy lifting to get that data all pulled together. We're in the middle of a project right now for a customer, and it is taking weeks to build the models and test them and things like that. So it's not an easy thing to do, but it is doable if you want to. So good question, Dave. As always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.